What is the real reason why Joe Schoen went out and signed Russell Wilson after signing Jameis Winston? We're going to break that down on today's show as you're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Not at the studio yet today. Got a later day with the Knicks game, but still wanted to jump on here and get you guys out a video as soon as possible, and that's why you subscribe. If you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We put out free, informative, entertaining updates every day on the Giants. We went live for the Russell Wilson signing for 2 hours. We did a video, and we've been covering that story pretty closely. So if you want to stay up to date with the Giants, hit that sub button and help us get to our goal of 70,000 subscribers. Like you, I was a little bit caught off guard by the New York Giants signing Russell Wilson. And as soon as I got the push notification and I'm getting ready to go live and all of that, a lot of thoughts are going through my head of why did Joe Schoen go out and make this move? And I really only think there are two reasons why he would do that. And it comes down to this. The first reason, you're not sure or you're not 100% sure that a quarterback is going to fall to you with the number 3 overall pick. And you don't want to walk out of the NFL draft with Jameis Winston, Tommy DeVito, and a day 2 quarterback. If you were going to roll with Jameis Winston, you needed to know for sure that you were going to take a quarterback or be able to pick a quarterback at the number 3 overall selection. So maybe the New York Giants got word that the Cleveland Browns are going to take Shedeur Sanders. All signs point to the Tennessee Titans selecting Cam Ward. So it sounds like Cam's going to be a Titan. And if the Giants got word that Shedeur Sanders was going to be selected by the Cleveland Browns, they needed to have a contingency plan, and they needed to make sure that they weren't simply ass out if they missed out on one of those top 2 quarterbacks. So what does that mean? They went out and they got a guy. They signed in Russell Wilson to a good contract. 1 year, $10.5 million, can be up to $21 million. Hopefully he makes $21 million because that would mean he played really well and he hit all of his incentives. So you go out and sign Russ, a guy that you clearly are willing to pay starter money. And in my opinion, the second best free agency quarterback out there that can help you win football games. And Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll are on the hot seat, and they got to win football games this year if they want to keep their job. There's another way we can keep it, and we'll talk about that coming up in a second, but one of the reasons you go out and sign Russell Wilson is because you don't think Shedeur or Cam is going to be there, and you want a quarterback on your roster that you feel comfortable starting all 17 games next year, which the New York Giants would welcome Russell Wilson starting all 17 games because that means he would play a pretty dang good season. The other reason the New York Giants would go out and sign Russell Wilson is they do not think that Shedeur Sanders is a franchise quarterback. It's that simple. If the Giants think that Shedeur Sanders is available and they think he's a franchise quarterback, there's not really a need for Russ and Jameis. There's simply not. What, are you going to take a quarterback 3rd overall? And I get it, Drake May and the Patriots did it last year, and you're not going to start him? I think that got that coaching staff fired. Maybe if they won a little more games with Drake May, they'd still be coaching. Not saying you'd win more games with Shedeur Sanders or Russell Wilson, but at the end of the day, when you don't have a franchise quarterback, which the Giants do not at this point, and you're picking 3rd in the draft, and there is a quarterback on the board that you believe is a franchise quarterback, you don't pass on that guy if you need one. And the Giants, they need one. And the only way that they would pass on Shedeur Sanders is if they don't think he's a franchise quarterback. And if you don't think he's a franchise quarterback, you need a plan there. And that would be going out and signing Russell Wilson. And every step of the way this offseason kind of tells me that the New York Giants aren't in love or don't know that a quarterback is going to be there. They were willing to move heaven and earth to go get Matthew Stafford. They offered him over $100 million guaranteed. They were willing to trade the 34th overall pick and some. That's someone that loves the quarterback that's available, but factoring in his age, I think that tells you that you also don't love the future quarterback options you have available to you in the draft, like Shedeur Sanders. I think they would make the move for Cam Ward. Cam Ward's going number 1 overall. That is done. Then you go out and you make it abundantly clear you're doing everything in the world to go out and sign Aaron Rodgers. And if you're a team that is going and willing to do whatever it takes to get Matthew Stafford, and then you do whatever it takes to sign Aaron Rodgers, that tells me you don't think that the quarterbacks there are that good. Or if they would, why would you allocate $100 million to Matt Stafford? Why would you allocate over $80 million to Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. I'm trying to stay in the middle here and try to understand every single reason the New York Giants would make a move like this, but it's very clear to me you signed Russell Wilson because, one, you don't think Shedeur is going to be there, or two, you don't think Shedeur is a franchise quarterback. And I kind of lean more towards not a franchise quarterback in your eyes because you were willing to go out and do whatever it took to sign Matthew Stafford or trade for him and sign him to an extension. You were willing to do whatever it takes to go out and get Aaron Rodgers. And now you're going out and signing Russell Wilson, who you probably feel pretty confident in starting every game this year. And do you really want a quarterback room of Russ, Shedeur, and Jameis? I don't know. All the beat reporters say the Giants are still open to taking a quarterback at 3. And maybe they are. Maybe if Shedeur is available, maybe the Giants aren't expecting Shedeur to be there, and they're making sure their bases are covered, and they're going to pick him if he's there. Absolutely possible. Maybe they don't think he's going to be there, and then if he falls and they pick him, he's there. I don't know. It doesn't reek of desperation for the Giants because signing Jameis Winston isn't a desperate move. 4 years for $4 million for a backup quarterback is not desperate. Going out and signing Russell Wilson, a quarterback that went out and led the Steelers to the playoffs, isn't desperate, especially at $10 million. But when you attempt to go out and get Matthew Stafford, that does seem a little desperate. And even signing and waiting on Aaron Rodgers can seem desperate at times. I don't want to say the Giants are just going and moving and making decisions as they go, but I feel like they've swung and missed on a lot of their first pass they wanted to travel. They wanted Matthew Stafford. They wanted to trade up for Cam Moore. They didn't get that. They wanted to go and make a move for Aaron Rodgers. They didn't get that. So now you're on like plan C, and maybe plan C was always to get Russ and another backup quarterback. I don't know. The question comes to this. Do the Giants view Shedeur Sanders as a franchise quarterback? If they do, they're going to pick him at 3 because they don't have one. And John Mara told them they got to get one. If they don't think he's a franchise quarterback, I don't think they are pressured like they were before with just Jameis to maybe reach. If you, in your heart of hearts, don't believe he's a franchise quarterback, I don't think you have to pull the trigger. We just need Joe Schoen to make the right call. If he's a franchise quarterback, I hope Joe Schoen believes that. If he's not, I hope Joe Schoen sees that. It's going to get spicy. It is going to get spicy as we are like a couple weeks away now from the NFL draft. All the beat reporters say the Giants are still open to taking a quarterback. I would think they are. We'll see.